Ohio State had a spring game yesterday. Kyle McCord at quarterback had a shot. He had a shot to publicly take the job by the throat. Now, in reality, that's probably not what was on the line yesterday. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a really, really hot quarterback competition going on, not controversy, competition going on there right now. Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. Devin Brown was out with a little minor finger injury, not a big deal, but he couldn't play yesterday. So my thought was, well, what if McCord steps up and just shreds Ohio State's defense? Unrealistic, but what if he does? Well, he went 18 of 34, 184, a touchdown. There's a lot of context that needs to be added there. So I'm sitting there watching them, and you got to take into account Egbuka's not out there. Marvin Harrison Jr. played a little bit, then he's out. Fleming's not out there. So he's down his top 3 receivers most of the day. He's down offensive linemen. They allowed 5 sacks on 70 pass plays. And so, as is usually the case with spring games, there's this big grain of salt. It's really big, and you just got to apply it all over the place. But is that the biggest question mark, really? Is offensive line the biggest question mark? Because if it is, I think they're going to be okay. Conversely, I'll tell you what's not a question mark. Go watch their spring game and watch how dominant and how difference-making they are across their defensive front. It wasn't that long ago. What was it, 2020? They played Bama in the national title game. And I remember having a coach text me saying, you want to know why Ohio State can't win a title right now. They can get to one, but they can't win one because they don't have the kind of guys up front defensively that Alabama did. And then you fast forward a few years, and they may have the best defensive front in the country, at the very least one of. I don't want to start a comment war in the comment section. So one of the very best. They're loaded there. They're going to be very hard to move the ball on. But in the meantime, offensive line, yeah, we'll get tackle figured out. Carnell Tate is a wide receiver name that we've had circled. He had 3 receptions yesterday, 42 yards, a touchdown. So you may say, well, those are, I guess, okay numbers, but what's the big deal, Josh? I don't know how to put this. You know how some guys just seem like they have it? Some guys have a veteran presence about themselves, and not even just when they're making a play on the ball, just the way they carry themselves, the way they move. They don't look young at all. That's Carnell Tate. And even on a team as loaded as this, even on the deepest, probably the deepest frontline receiver rotation in the country, I don't know how much it'll happen. I don't know when it'll happen. Carnell Tate's going to be involved in that rotation this year. You got Marv there? Yes. You've got Emeka Egbuka. Absolutely has earned his right to play. Julian Fleming? Yes. But I'm telling you right now, if you think that name's locked in there, Jaden Ballard's another name. Those names are not locked in. If you're the best, you're going to get on the field. And that may mean surpassing someone who previously was thought of as being one of the 2 or 3 best. That's a good thing. That's called a culture of competition. They've had it in that receiver room for a long time. Ohio State as a team, my biggest takeaway, following them this spring, watching the spring game, and getting a little bit of feedback from the program is, as much as it hurts to watch a player the caliber of C.J. Stroud exit, they may actually be headed towards territory where they're capable of beating you in more ways than they have been able to. And I don't know if that means they're a better team in the aggregate or not, but what I'm telling you is it's been a long time since I found myself thinking Ohio State could be able to lean on their defense a little bit this year. I hadn't said it the last couple of years for sure. I start to think that after watching them in the spring game and after watching and listening to folks around that program throughout spring practice. You get offensive tackle figured out, they're loaded in the backfield. They could run the ball on you. I don't think I need to say any more about what they can do at wide receiver, doubly especially if Devin Brown or Kyle McCord fulfill their potential. That's a team that can beat you a multitude of ways, and that's the hallmark of most teams that make a run for a title. So a lot of pressure on them this year, whole lot of competitive pressure on Ryan Day, and there's pressure every year on Ohio State.